بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم آمين. In the name of the one God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and in whose pleasure we seek today, we're talking about the budget cuts that have been occurring on this, the budget cuts and the fee hikes that have been occurring on this campus. We begin this event, as we begin all our events, seeking the pleasure of the one God, and with a few verses from the Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل للمطففين الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين صدق الله العظيم. Just a quick translation. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, woe to those who defraud. Woe when they take by measure from men, take the full measure. But when they give by measure or by weight to others, they give less than due. Do they not think that they will be raised to life again on a mighty day, a day when all mankind will stand before the Lord of the worlds? Indeed not. The record of the wicked is in register for the wicked ones. Our topic today is what happened about 2 weeks ago in the UCI Regents meeting when they decided to increase the fees by 32% on the students. And they approved the layoff for 1,900 workers. This is the issue we need to be talking about on this campus. This is the issue of our concern. We brought today Amir Abdel Malik Ali, who is a known political activist in Oakland, California, a known political and social activist in Oakland, California. In the 1980s, he was elected student body president at San Francisco State University, and he worked on securing interest-free loans for the students in need over there. But he needs no introduction. He's very well known on this campus. Without further ado, I give you Amir Abdel Malik.
Turn on the mic.
Oh. Yeah. I knew that. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. My respected brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we greet you in the greeting words of peace. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, you know, a couple of years ago when the MSA was putting on programs here, one of the things that was said was that the American people will soon find out that businessmen are not qualified to run a country. The MSA said that about a couple of years ago, before the financial collapse. And now we are in the midst of this financial collapse. And any economist who's worth their salt knows that this economy has not seen its worst days. They're projecting that 2 to 3 years into Barack Obama's presidency, the economy will get even worse. Because there's a couple more bubbles that need to burst, one of which is the commercial real estate bubble that hasn't burst yet. And so you're talking about a situation in which this financial crisis that America is being faced with right now, the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, it hasn't reached its worst point yet. It hasn't reached rock bottom yet. But brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I think that more and more people, particularly young people, are realizing that it's time to come out of the trance. And although there's been years of trying to get you young people caught up in distractions, the mall, and TV, and entertainment, and consumption, more and more young people, probably the most critical element in the next phase of this movement, the young people are slowly starting to wake up. We've always said on these occasions, we've always started off with two statements. One came from, or comes from, Imam Jamil El-Amin, also known as H. Rap Brown, who said that the movement did not begin or end in the 60s or the early 70s. The movement did not begin or end in the 60s and early 70s. And part of what that means is that America is getting ready to go through another period of social, political upheaval that could make the 60s look like a dress rehearsal. We're talking about a period in which after the smoke clears, that there will be major structural changes that will have taken place in this country. But understand this, these structural changes mean that the corporations will not have as much power as they used to have. Now listen, the corporations will do all they can to ensure that they keep power over the society, particularly over the government. And what we are faced with is a situation in which the corporations will use all types of brutality to ensure that they retain power, but it will not work. The second statement comes from Frantz Fanon, a psychiatrist from Algeria, who said that each generation must find their historical mission and either fulfill it or betray it. Each generation must find their historical mission and either fulfill it or betray it. And when you look back at the 1960s, the last period of major social political upheaval in this country, there was a generation of that time, high school, college age generation, who actually stood up, put their lives, their time, their money, their energies, and their talents on the line, and made a major contribution to this country to get us where we are today. Now you, the high school, college generation of today, as America gets ready to go through its another 60s type period, you must answer this question. You must find your historical mission as young people, as youth, and either fulfill it or betray it. In the Quran, Allah teaches us in the Quran that before Allah destroys a social unit, He sends a command to a certain segment of that society. We are taught in this society that it is the poor who are the worst in society. We are taught that in this society it is the immigrants or what have you, or the oppressed minorities who are the problem in this society. But Allah is clear in the Quran. Before He destroys a social unit, He sends a command to the mutrafin. In Arabic it's mutrafin. In English it can be translated as roughly the corrupt rich. And Allah sends a command to the corrupt rich to stop engaging in so much corrupt behavior in their society. Why does Allah pinpoint the corrupt rich? Because in many societies, especially in America, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to live large, right? Everybody does. The doctors, the mechanics, the carpenters, the lawyers, everybody wants to be rich. Even some of you have been taught that the main goal in society is to be rich. And so people will play the lottery. People will do all kinds of things to be rich. And so therefore it's that particular group in society that everyone tries to emulate. Everyone tries to be like. Everyone tries to adopt their way of living and their culture and their behavior. So therefore, Allah tells the corrupt rich, gives them a command to stop engaging in so much corrupt behavior. And in the Quran we are taught